What's good, y'all? I apologize in advance. This video is probably going to be a little bit rambly. This is just me kind of thinking out loud, just thinking about white privilege. A lot of times we get the term white privilege thrown around, and I always question, okay, well, is it a situation where is it white privilege or is it more economic privilege? Meaning, it's the person who, quote unquote, received the privilege, they're in a position of economic power to where, they were able to just have a different set of rules apply to them. Now, with economic privilege, if we're speaking just in terms of black and white, the majority, there are more wealthy white people than there are black people. That's just, it is what it is. So a lot of times what may seem like white privilege is just economic privilege, and it just so happens that the person that has that economic privilege happens to be white. Then in other instances where, economic prosperity is not a factor in the situation, let's say, again, speaking just in terms of black and white, not to exclude everybody else, but, just to keep it simple, to keep it quote unquote black and white. If you take out economic prosperity, sometimes I wonder, is it a situation of white privilege, whereas it's like, okay, white people banding together, like, okay, we're going to take care of all white people because we're better than everybody? Or is it more of an issue of just, maintaining this, or just going along with the status quo? Which is just kind of what you do. If a situation comes up, you just kind of revert back to what you've always done. And in America, again, speaking black and white, the status quo is that white people have been up here and black people have been down here. And, throughout the course of history, we've, elevated, but we've never gotten to equal playing. And then we can ask ourselves why, whose fault is that? Some of it's fact, a lot of the problem with the system where black people have not been able to get on that level. Some of it's our fault. We haven't done enough to assert ourselves up to that level. But regardless, the fact remains that the status quo in this country has always been and still currently remains white people, a little bit, couple notches, again, depending on your perspective, how many notches above black people. So a lot of times we see situations where it's white, where we like to call it white privilege. I just kind of wonder, like, how much is it, is it really a case of white people just really striving to stay on top and they hold everybody else down? Or if it's just a situation where we're like, okay, well, hell, how have we always done it? Well, this is the way we've always done it, so we just kind of do it that way because that's the status quo. And again, not enough has been done to change the status quo by all parties involved. Yeah, just thinking out loud, just rambling.